Hi, welcome to online grade 7 tuitions. I am teacher Kuyere. In social studies, we are starting a topic called living together in the community, and this is part A of the topic. Now, in this topic about living together in the community, once we are done with all the series of this topic, you should be able to describe Zambia in terms of its physical features, social features, economic activities, and historical features. In short, we are looking at features of Zambia in terms of physical, social, economic, and historical features. And in this, what I can call the subtopic, we are looking at physical features. Now, what is a physical feature? Physical features refer to natural things we have in our environment. That means these things are not man-made, they are natural. So physical features are natural things we have in our environment, such as mountains, plateaus, escarpments, watersheds, rivers, waterfalls, swamps, and lakes. Now I want you to do something. At the end of this lesson, after you've done your exam practice questions, please be able to spell the following words: physical, features, mountain, plateau, escarpment, watershed, waterfall, river, lake, environment. Now, we are learning social studies, but these words are important. You may find them in the English examination paper where you are required to be able to spell them. Okay, let's go on with our topic. Let's look at mountains or highlands. Okay, as the name suggests, a highland or a mountain is a raised portion of land. Okay, and the following are the mountains and highlands found in Zambia. Now, you may not be aware of this interesting fact that we have a high mountain in Zambia called Mafinga Central. And what it is there are these hills which are also called, it's actually also called a plateau. But there are a series of hills which are found in the border between Zambia and Malawi. Now, some of these hills are high, others are lower, but the highest point of these Mafinga hills is known as Mafinga Central. And it is interesting to note that Mafinga Central is the highest mountain in Zambia. It is the highest point of the land of Zambia, Mafinga Central. Now, the other mountain we find in Zambia is the Makutu Mountain. This mountain is located in the northern part of Zambia. And then we have the Mbala Highlands, which are in the northern part of Zambia near Tanzania. Right, now let's move on to another physical feature, and that is plateau. We have different plateaus in Zambia, but first let us understand what a plateau is. I have a picture here. It shows this land here. You can see that here this part of the land is low, and then it is rising, and then once you come to this portion, it goes flat like that. Now this part of the land which is high and flat is known as a plateau. In other words, a plateau is a high flat land. And it may interest you to know that most land in Zambia exists on plateaus. So much of Zambia is actually a plateau. Now, but it is important to know particular plateaus which are famous, which are well known, okay? And what we have is the Nyika Plateau. There is a video you can watch. I think I posted it in the last lesson of the Nyika Plateau. It's a very interesting, very attractive place to be at. And this plateau is found in Eastern Province, and it is on the border between Zambia and Malawi. Then, of course, like I mentioned, there are also what are known as Mafinga Highlands, like I earlier mentioned. These are found in the border between Zambia and Malawi, and they are it's actually a plateau land, okay? And okay, I think that is enough on plateaus. Let us move on to another physical feature, and that is what we call escarpments, okay? Escarpments. Now, what is an escarpment? An escarpment is a range of mountains, okay, a series of mountains that are steep on one side. Now, you look at this picture here. This is a mountain, and there could be a series of them. And then on this side, you can see it's very steep. There, on top, you can see it's a piece of land. There can even be a road there, a tarmacked road where vehicles can be moving. But when you look over on the other side, it's actually very steep. Like when you're going to Eastern Province, there is an escarpment. When you are in a bus or you are in a vehicle, well, it's quite a view. You find that you are right on top, and as you look through the side windows of the car, it's actually a very steep land. And that is what an escarpment is. An escarpment is a range of mountains that are steep on one side. Now, Zambia has two escarpments. There's one known as the Muchinga Escarpment and another one known as the Zambezi Escarpment. Now, listen, this is very important to know in the exam, not just to know the names, you need to know where they are on the map. So, if you look at the map of Zambia, there it is. There are two escarpments here. There is the Muchinga Escarpment. This is the one you find as you go to Eastern Province, like I said, when you're on the Great East Road, moving from Lusaka to the Eastern Province. That escarpment is very visible. And even also when you go to Chirundu and as you cross into Zimbabwe, there's also an escarpment somewhere there. So this one here, the one in red, which borders on the Eastern Province and the Muchinga Province, yeah, this is known as Muchinga Escarpment. And there's another one here in Southern Province there. It's known as the Zambezi Escarpment. So in the exam, they may bring you a map like this, and then they'll just put an X here or whatever letter. Then they'll ask you to state or to tell what escarpment that is. So it is important. You need to know where these escarpments are. All right, now let's talk about a watershed. What is a watershed? If you look at this picture here, you have different rivers. You have this main river, and then you have this raised part of the land which looks like a hill or a mountain, and then you have these rivers flowing into the main river. So you can see that this river and this other one coming from the highland and all these other small ones, they've been separated because of the shape of the land. Part of it is high, part of it is low, and well, so that causes water to flow downwards into a large body of water. So a watershed is a highland that causes or that sheds water streams. Okay, you can see these streams of water here to flow downwards into a large body of water such as a river or a lake. So this is what is known as a watershed. It's a highland that sheds water streams to flow downwards into a large body of water. Okay, in other words, we can say that a watershed is a highland that divides two river systems. Now, examples of watersheds in Zambia include the Zambezi Congo watershed and the Zambezi Luangwa watershed. Now, I have a task which you need to do, and this task needs to be submitted tomorrow before 20 hours. I want you to draw the map of Zambia. Try to draw it without looking at the atlas. Well, for practicing, you can first look at the atlas, but later on I want you to draw it from your head. But now, draw the map of Zambia, and I want you to do a little research. You can use an atlas, or you can tell your parents to help you check for the information on the internet. I want you to find where these two watersheds are located. Where are they on the map? So I want you to draw the map of Zambia and try to indicate where these two watersheds are, the Zambezi Congo watershed and the Zambezi Luangwa watershed. Let's talk about river valleys. A river valley is a lowland that is situated between highlands. So you have two highlands, and then in between here there is land which lays low. Okay, which lies low. A river valley is formed by water flowing through it and washing away the ground. So as the ground is getting washed, there is a lowland that forms between two highlands. Okay, we have a number of valleys in Zambia. Common ones include the Luangwa Valley, Luapula Valley, and Zambezi Valley. Note that Luangwa and Zambezi valleys are the hottest. Well, usually it's quite hot in a valley. Okay, and we can move on and talk about rivers. That's another physical feature found in Zambia. And there are many rivers in Zambia, the common ones being the Zambezi River. Now listen to this. The Zambezi River is the longest in Zambia. It's the longest river. And then you have the Kabompo River. Kabompo River is the deepest river in Zambia. So Zambezi is long, okay? From point A to B, it measures so many meters, you know. It's quite long. But Kabompo is deep. Alright, it's the deepest river in Zambia. Then you have the Luangwa River and the Kafue River. Now you need to know that the Luangwa and Kafue River, they actually are rivers that are connected to the Zambezi River. Actually, they pour their water into the Zambezi River. Now, a river that flows into another river, or a river that flows into a larger river, is called a tributary river. Okay, and so you know they're giving tribute. They're giving tribute to this big river, so they're pouring themselves into a bigger river. So they're known as tributary rivers. Kafue and Luangwa rivers are tributaries of the Zambezi River. Now you may want to know, what about a river that flows out of a larger river? Well, there is a name for that. It's called a distributary river. Let's talk about waterfalls. Like the name suggests, this is water falling. All right, water falling over a steep place, you know. So, and most of you may know the most famous waterfalls, and that is the Victoria Falls. The most well-known waterfalls in Zambia is the Victoria Falls. Now, the local name of the falls is Mosi Otunya. Okay, that is what we call it in our local language, Mosi Otunya. Can you guess what that means? What does Mosi Otunya mean? Mosi Otunya means smoke that thunders. Now, please, you need to remember these words. They could be coming in your examination. Smoke that thunders. So let us look at what other examples of waterfalls are there in Zambia. Well, there's Ngonia Falls, Kalambo Falls, Lumangwe Falls, Kundalila Falls. Again, it's always good practice. Go to your atlas and try to find out where these waterfalls are. Okay, let's talk about swamps. What is a swamp? A swamp is an area of land that is permanently saturated with water. It is always wet, you know. It is saturated. This piece of land is filled with water, okay, which is there permanently. Okay, and I would want to give you an assignment again. So this makes the second assignment. I want you to go on the map of Zambia, try to do some research, and tell me what are the common swamps that we have in Zambia. So 2 assignments I'm giving you. I need answers tomorrow. If you've forgotten what the other one was, you can always play back this video. But let's talk about lakes. A lake is a body of water that is surrounded by land. So the water is not flowing. It is surrounded by land. And well, we have so many lakes in Zambia. There's Lake Bangweulu, Lake Kampolombo, Lake Lusiwashi, Lake Mweru Wantipa, and Lake Mweru. And then there's Lake Tanganyika. Now, there are 2 special lakes I want to talk about, and that is Lake Kariba and Lake Itezhi. You know what is interesting about these? They were made by man. They're not existing naturally. These are man-made lakes. You may wonder, what were they made for? They were made for producing electricity, generating electricity. You need to know that much of electricity in Zambia is generated by water. And electricity that is generated by electricity that is generated by water, excuse that error here, it's supposed to be water. Electricity that is generated by water is called hydroelectricity. All right.